Teaching number 137. My light and my power manifest among you. From the beginning, the light of my Spirit has illuminated the path of humanity. Every era, every age, has witnessed my revelations. Your spirit knows that I have spoken to it in many ways. That light shows you the path that my charity has been tracing for you so that through it you can reach my divinity, where your origin was. In man is the Spirit is light of the divinity, that is why in your spirit I am in each one of you. If today you do not value the greatness of the way I am manifesting myself, tomorrow you will understand it. Here you have the path clean of human impurities. With this I do not want to tell you that your religions are bad. I am not here to divide you, because if each one of you really complied with what your religion commands you, you would be saved. Do they not all teach to love God and their fellow men? But I contemplate that on many occasions you even take the truth to ignore yourselves. What I come to teach you is love, because the purest and highest feelings spring from it, the highest inspirations. You lack love, that's why you walk in darkness. If I come knocking down idols and abolishing rites, it is so that you can contemplate with greater clarity the light of truth. As Master I come to give you my teachings. One of them is that I am giving my lessons through men, without it being necessary for them to be just and pure of heart. How many times will be more sinful in my eyes, the spokesman I use, than those whom I find myself teaching? My power and my wisdom inspire you so that holy, just and pure ideas sprout from your mouth. That is why, when these understandings are put in communication with their Lord, the spiritual life is reflected through them and they reveal to you much that is beyond your life. It has not been necessary for you to see or touch me in order to believe, because your spirit in its evolution has prepared itself to feel my presence in spiritual form. Your heart is surprised to be able to conceive certain ideas. It is that it does not know the path that the Spirit has traveled. In the same way, you are surprised by the precocious intelligence of children of this time, who ask you questions, showing that they have knowledge that has not been taught to them at this stage of their material life. It is the light that the Spirit has been collecting on its long journey, the one that is reflected in each existence. You ask me, if you manifest yourself with such wisdom and if our spirit is prepared, why don't you tell us everything that your teaching keeps for us? What I reserve for you is very great and I cannot give it to you in an instant, so as not to cause you disturbance in the spirit or in the mind. I will always tell you that if you do not want the light of revelation to stop, you must persevere on this path of love for your father and your brothers. Go along the road slowly and firmly, do not go down it in a hurry or hastily, because you would stumble and in the end you would not even know where you walked. Disciples. From time to time I must tell you not to judge the teaching of one venue better than that of the other, nor the work of a spokesperson superior or inferior to this or that one. The meaning of my doctrine is only one through all, and the difference is external, it is superficial, it is in the language. I will always tell you to seek my truth in the essence of this word. Humanity will believe, my work must be spread throughout the world. I will start with 144,000 designated, who will fight with obedience, with love and zeal in the time of wars of beliefs and doctrines, and in the midst of that battle they will be like a link that proposes to the world, not the chain of slavery, but that of the spiritual alliance that will be of freedom and fraternity. Those soldiers will not be alone, my spiritual realm will follow and protect them, they will do wonders in their path and thus bear witness to my truth. Carry your cross to the end with patience and resignation, and then it will be my charity that frees you from it when you arrive at the doors of that dwelling that I have promised you, where you will come to enjoy true peace. Now you are the walkers, you are the soldiers, the fighters, who are in pursuit of an ideal, who are after the conquest of a better homeland. But you are not alone in your struggle, man has never been, because I have always shown him the best path. If anyone asked me how the Lord's people were guided, before the law that Moses received from the Lord was known to them, I would answer that, before Moses, I sent into the world spirits of great light, patriarchs and prophets, who brought the law in the light of their conscience to teach it with their works to all their peers. Those men honored me with their lives, they were not idolaters, because they already knew spirituality, they had a sense of love and charity towards others, they knew how to receive foreigners in their lands, and within their homes they were hospitable to the weary traveler. They had a good word and wise advice for everyone. But not all men have been able to guide themselves by the voice of their conscience, because this requires spirituality, and the senses of matter do not understand it. That is why it was necessary for your Father to manifest himself in various forms among humanity, to explain the law and reveal the divine teachings. You, people, who are listening to this word in the third era and who still have some of that seed that entrusted you in past times, understand that you must cleanse your heart of selfishness and materialism, so that it can reach the joyous moment in which you will once again continue your life, guiding it by the dictates of your conscience, as those first enlightened ones did, like Abraham, from whom sprang the people who in all times have been the repositories of my revelations. I want that when the moment arrives in which my manifestation ceases in the form in which you now have it, you will be prepared in such a way that each spirit of the beings that make up this people is like a temple for me, each heart a sanctuary, each home an altar, a patriarchal house, hospitable and full of charity. How deep will then be your peace? How strong will your heart be then, to prevail in all trials? The bread will then be blessed not only by me, but also by you, because by then you will have learned to knead it with love, with faith and with peace. The spiritual strength with which I have donated to you is none other than the seed of spirituality. Truly I tell you, whoever cultivated that seed in his heart, taking care of it with true love, will not become a victim of the plagues or the fury of the unleashed elements, nor will material needs afflict him in a depressing way. But you must not wait for those days to come to you. No, people, with your spirituality you must be the ones who through prayer achieve your Father's forgiveness, and understand all that the Spirit is capable of when it manages to rise above the silt, dust and mud of a materialized and impure life. Do not forget, O disciples, that spirituality cannot admit fanaticism of any kind, idolatry or prejudice, because then it would cease to be spirituality. He who carries purity in his heart and seeks to honor me with the deeds of his life, he does not need external worships, to feel that he has complied with the precepts of his Father and Lord. On the other hand, the one who carries in his heart the restlessness that his conscience makes him feel when judging himself, he eagerly seeks external rites and worships, in the false belief that with them he will be able to reconcile with his Creator. Be simple like flowers and pure like birds, be transparent like air and diaphanous like pure water, then you will have achieved the clarity and elevation that will make you know all the truth that life contains. Whoever comes to say that my doctrine is a danger to the material progress of humanity, commits a serious mistake, because I, the teacher of teachers, when I come to show the spirit the path of its restitution, also I speak to the mind, to reason and even to the senses themselves. My doctrine not only comes to inspire and teach you the spiritual life, but to shed light in all science and in all human paths, because my teaching is not limited to directing the spirits towards the mansion that is beyond this existence, it also reaches the hearts of man, to inspire them to live a pleasant, worthy and profitable life on this earth. If I told you in the second era that my kingdom is not in this world, now I tell you that yours is not here either, because this place, as you well know, is only transitory for man. I come to teach you the true life, the one that has never been based on materialism. That is why the lords of the earth will rise up again against my doctrine. I come to you, with my eternal doctrine, with my teaching that always is that of love, wisdom and justice. However, it will not be instantly understood, the world will judge me again, this humanity will once again put the cross on my shoulders, but I already know that my doctrine will have to pass over all these ingratitudes, so that it may be recognized and loved. I know that my most tenacious persecutors will later be my most faithful and self-sacrificing sowers, because I will give them very great proofs of my truth. Nicodemus, in the second era, prince among the priests, the one who sought Jesus to talk with him about topics of high wisdom, will emerge again in this time, to serenely analyze my work and convert to it. Saul, later called Paul, who after viciously persecuting me, became one of my greatest apostles, will appear again on my path, and my new disciples will emerge from everywhere, some fervent, others self-sacrificing. The present hour is of great importance, the time I am talking about is already approaching. These wars of ideas, these contests that you are now witnessing and these events that you have daily, do they not tell you of something that is approaching? Do they not make you sense that a time is coming to an end and that a new era begins to spread its light? I only want you, the witnesses of my word at this time, to remain firm in the moments of trial, which will precede the establishment of my law and of my kingdom among you. Then I will be like the force of the hurricane, which the earth and the seas in which this humanity lives will agitate, curl and stir in their own bowels, so that they expel from themselves all that is impure that they keep in their depths. Fear not when these manifestations come. You should understand that the beginning of the end of an era has begun and that the dawn of a stage of peace is approaching. Evil, injustice, pride, slavery, ignorance, earthly power, will succumb, to make way for the establishment of the reign of love, light and peace among men. You will not waver, you will not turn off your lamp, even if you feel that the test is very hard and that the cup that you have to drain is very bitter. On the contrary, you must kindle and fan the flame of hope, as a soldier does in the heat of battle, when he feels that he is dominating the enemy and that victory is near. When you see yourself surrounded by hostile crowds whose tongues are hurling poison against you and whose eyes are shooting flames of hatred against you, do not doubt my promises. In those moments I will make you feel my reassuring presence and I will make you listen to my loving voice that repeats to you, I am with you. You will see many times how from among those mobs a heart will emerge that understands you and that is like a shield for you, but you will only achieve this when you place your trust and your faith in me. Remember Daniel, that faithful prophet who so defended the truth of the one God in Babylon and whom I saved from his enemies. Before the fight begins, re-water the seed that the Eternal has sown in the spirit of man, let the weeds be severed by the blow of the sickle of my justice and let the lands be tilled, so that they are propitious for the cultivation of the doctrine of love. It is necessary to grant men who are ambitious for the goods of the earth a few moments more, so that their disappointment is absolute, so that they are convinced that gold, power, titles and the pleasures of matter, will never give peace or well-being to the spirit. The time is approaching when the works of all humanity will be judged in the light of conscience. There will be the wise men, the theologians, the scientists, the powerful, the rich and the judges, wondering what the spiritual, moral or material fruit they have harvested has been. Seeing the meagerness of their harvest, many will return to me, recognizing that, despite the glory they had on earth, they lacked something to be able to fill the void into which their spirit had fallen, which can only be sustained with the fruits of spiritual life. I have already prepared the oasis in the middle of the desert for those spirits, because I know that through their existence, knocking from door to door and traveling path after path, some have sought the truth, others strength, others happiness, and at the end of the path they have traveled on earth, when they are about to deny everything, I will open my arms to them, to make them rest in my bosom. I will comfort them and point out to them which is the true path, so that through it they may find the fields in which they can sow the fertile seed of their experience. The oasis is spiritual, and to it men of all races will arrive through all the roads of the desert, some tired, others full of wounds, swollen and sweaty, others graying, and many with their saddlebag already empty, ashamed before the sterility of the fight that they had undertaken. There they will hear my voice and recognizing it, they will exclaim, "It is the Lord," and in that sentence they will reflect the humility with which they will finally look for me, because everyone will have to arrive on their own feet without carriages, because they could not cross the desert with them and without camels because they already perished from thirst throughout the day. But that hour of infinite sweetness, reconciliation and humility, will also be of divine forgiveness for the prodigal sons, who finally returned to their father's house in search of the loving arms of the one who gave them life and inheritance. Today receive my word of love, forgiveness and justice, and present your heart to me. Do not try to hide your faults, because I know everything. You have promised to love each other, and I am still waiting for your fulfillment. A single tree I have given you to cultivate, and you offer me different fruits. I have prepared you humble, submissive and obedient, so that you may serve your brothers, and I do not find that seed in your works. The son does not bow down to his parents, the wife rebels against her husband, the brothers do not know each other, they all do acts that reveal pride and vanity, they all feel superior, and I continue to teach only love and peace to all men. The nations have signed peace and there is no love or good intentions in their words. Behind that apparent peace, there is resentment, the desire for revenge and war lurking. Where is the one who has known how to forgive, who has left the cause for me to judge? The human heart has hardened and is unmoved by the pain of children, the anguish of women and the tragic fate of young people and men who are mercilessly thrown into war. But there have been those who love me and feel love for their brothers, those who have known how to pray and do works of charity. The test has been very great for those nations, their pride has been punished, they themselves are destroying their power. Only the pain will bend them and make them reflect. I have been very close to each spirit to strengthen them in the test, and those who have prepared themselves have felt my presence. The atmosphere of war has penetrated everywhere, sowing destruction, from the small home to the great nations, which have not watched, have fallen into their nets without knowing how to free themselves from this yoke. I have taught you, I have given you the secret of peace, love me, love one another, be inspired by me. Fulfill your duties, conform to your destiny, and you will have my blessing. I have received the song of joy from those who after the struggle have returned home, to the country, but I also receive the pain of the mothers who did not see the return of the son, that of the children who did not see the father, and that of the woman who has been left a widow. I bless everyone. That Israel participate with those peoples in their sentiments, and that prayer that you have raised for the peace of the world, continue to offer it and make it a song of protection for all nations. Spirits who left your body on earth, enlighten yourselves. I have received you. Trust in me and you will be led to true life. You have not died, because the Spirit has eternal life. I invite you to true peace and justice. Because I am the life and I come to offer you the bread of eternal life, but I look at you hungry, and it is because you have not understood that the essence is at the bottom of my word. If you look at it superficially, you will not be able to nourish yourself. In it my love is enclosed, that divine essence that is life, joy, and peace for the Spirit. While you do not study my word, there are many beings in this and other nations, waiting for the good news to fulfill my mandates. But the day will come when the good apostles will arise from among you to go through regions and nations preaching my teaching, and I will speak through your understanding, as I did with those who followed me in the second era. Everyone who works like this, be full of courage and trust in me. If you find obstacles, do like Moses, order the elements to favor you, and they will obey submissively. If you want to see wonders, prepare yourself, but do not expect everyone to believe you. I have told you that in this time not everyone will believe in my word, then leave the cause to me and move on. They will recognize me when they are in spirit. You, respect ideas and feelings, but speak as I have taught you, with this word that does not hurt and draws back the veils that hide my light from the spirits. The time of awakening for each spirit is appointed. I promise you that everyone who prepares will see me in all my splendor. Ask and it shall be given to you. Whatever you give in charity for your brothers, ask me. Pray, unite your request to that of the needy and I will grant you what you request. The light of my word will be the white garment that covers you all. For love of you I have come in the cloud, symbol of the spiritual, to communicate with your spirit, but at the beginning that luminous cloud had to settle on the understanding of the spokespersons, as a preparation for when you already know how to communicate directly with me, and it is in your spirit where the cloud descends to settle. I chose the cloud as a symbol to represent my arrival in the world in the third era. Is not the cloud, the messenger who crosses over mountains, valleys, and cities? Isn't she the one who fertilizes the fields with her rain and provides beneficial shade? Doesn't the lightning that announces the storm and the vibrating lightning that shakes arise from it? That is why I chose the cloud as a symbol, that is why my apostles when they saw me in spirit for the last time, and Roque Rojas in this third era, when I made them contemplate the symbol that was a sign of my new coming, they understood the meaning of my presence on the cloud. Since then, a sweet shadow envelopes the people that have been forming around my manifestation. My word has been fruitful rain over the arid fields of spirituality, and the ray that in each communication descends on the human understanding, has torn the darkness of your sin and your ignorance, shaking your fibers and awakening your spirit. How terrible has been for many of you the storm that has been unleashed in your spirit when listening to my divine word. How much majesty and what imposing beauty have you witnessed in that storm of light that arises from my word in the moments of its manifestation. Overwhelmed with admiration, respect and fear, the multitudes remain silent, letting that torrent of love, of justice and wisdom bathe and purify them. Oh, beloved people whom I have called Israel, because I am turning you into the repository of my messages and revelations, when will you learn to translate and interpret my word accurately? My promise to return, made in the second era, I have fulfilled. The apostles, in Bethany, saw me ascend from the earth to infinity, and you have seen me return from infinity to your heart. Do you not also find in it a resemblance to the clouds that rise from the sea and ascend to go to pour their beneficial rain in other places, where the thirsty lands call them? Your pain has attracted me, my spirit has felt invoked by yours, and I have come in the cloud of love and justice to overflow in mercy on men. Not all towns call me, and very few hearts await me. The spiritual cloud will arrive and cover like a mantle of peace the peoples who invoke it, the hearts that await it. To all those who try to quench the thirst of the Spirit with the pleasures of the world, the cloud will surprise them with the brightness of its lightning, and the roar of its storm will fill them with fear, because until then they will remember that there is a divine justice and that each man is the bearer of a spirit that will have to answer to God for all his works. The cloud of love, light, mercy and justice, it is also made of an immense legion of spiritual beings, of my servants, of spirits of light who live to fulfill my designs and multiply in the universe, carrying out their mission of loving one another in perfect harmony, because that divine commandment, that maxim that in the second era I revealed to the world, was not only for men. That maxim is the law that governs all existing spirits. Beloved people, on that cloud of light, which is the spiritual legion of love and fraternity among all the worlds, I descended through my ray, in this third era, bringing you a new message of wisdom, an infinite consolation for your pain and a light that would serve as a guide to find the forgotten path, so that, once discovered, you come to me, step by step, merit by merit, consciously and firmly, in pursuit of your spiritual perfection. My peace be with you.